All right, welcome back to the podcast, guys. Today we are bringing you a strong chick side note where we're going to be covering what are some considerations that you should take in account when you're looking for a personal trainer.
Yeah. And this is something that we can talk about from personal experience because you are, in fact, a personal trainer and I am, in fact, your client. And one of the things when we've been talking about this is we kind of feel like it's really important if this is something that you're interested in, that one, you're not intimidated, because I think that it can be intimidating to just get started.
And overwhelming. There's so many options.
There are so many options, and how do you know what's important if you have never worked with a personal trainer before? From my personal experience, and I would think probably from most of your clients' personal experience, you start with like a Google search.
Mm-hmm.
And what mattered to me was that I could find a personal trainer who was a woman and who was in my area. I think that was the consideration. I think that's how I found you.
Yeah, and very valid considerations. Absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
From our point of view, the listeners, if what they're interested in is finding a personal trainer, that very first step, what would you recommend that they look for on Google? What are their kind of search terms that they're going to be?
So the first thing that people Google is personal trainer.
Yeah,
right?
Which is a very general
thing. Very general. But the thing is, you're going to be just bombarded with so many options. So I always recommend trying to narrow it down, so using some keywords.
Yeah.
So for example, personal trainer and then your area, your neighborhood or your city, right?
Yeah.
Then you can get even more specific. Personal trainer, your area, boxing or strength training or running, right? Yeah. That will narrow it down even further. The more you can hone in on
what you want.
Yeah. You can think about it as values, right? Yeah. If your values are that you want to learn how to train a specific sport, or you want to learn how to eat plant-based, for example, then you add those to those values.
Yeah. With your webpage, you've kind of built that into your kind of search optimization. So you've built your values in so that a person looking for you can kind of match those values, right?
Absolutely.
So here we go. We start with a Google search. We found a PT who's in our area, who's matching our values. And then you're going to reach out to them. And I would guess that personal trainer is going to want to meet with you before they take you on as a client, right?
Yes. We're talking about personal trainers that work with you one-on-one in a physical space. So not an online trainer. I believe most trainers would at least have a phone call or a Zoom meeting with a potential client. I like to meet people in person.
Yeah.
Whether I meet them at the gym so that they can take a look around at the gym so that they don't feel that it's such a scary place.
That's so intimidating, yeah.
Or we meet for a coffee.
Yeah.
And it's completely casual. There's no strings attached, but it's a good way for them to ask me any questions they may have.
Yeah.
And they get a feeling of whether I'm a good fit for them, because chemistry is really important with your personal trainer.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and you want kind of that vibe check, right? You want to be sure that you guys are kind of on the same level. But as a personal trainer, what kind of questions do you ask these kind of potential new clients?
Well, first I ask about their background in training.
Yes,
right?
Very important.
So what have you done in the past? Yeah. So I get an idea of what they're into and what they might be motivated by.
What they're enjoying.
Yeah. And do they have any injuries? Do they have any illnesses that I should be aware of? Because I need to know if that's something that I can actually take on board.
Yeah, exactly. That was what I was going to say. That if somebody does have like a particular condition or a particular injury, something that's kind of persistent for them. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You should always know your limitations, right? Because there's no trainer that knows everything.
Yeah.
There are certain things that I feel confident in treating or having a challenge with, but there's also things where I feel like this is not the safe thing for the client, and therefore I would rather refer them.
Yeah, and I think that would give me a lot of confidence. If
that's a green flag.
Yeah.
Absolute green flag.
Definitely. And what kind of questions do you get from your clients? Like, I remember asking you if you were qualified, and you were like, qualified in both the US and here, and I was like, that was my only question, and I am satisfied.
Yes. Well, first of all, about their availability.
Yeah.
Always make sure that they're available in the times that you can train, so that it is as easy for you to include in your everyday life.
Yeah,
right?
That's a really good one.
Yeah. Also, if you're interested in, for example, having a meal plan made, then you need to ask that person, do you do meal plans? Are you a certified nutritional coach or something like that?
Yeah.
So just to make sure that you don't end up with disappointments down the line.
Yeah, so be clear on what like your expectations are that you want out of that relationship, actually.
Yes, or if there's a special skill you want to get done. Like, for example, if you ask me, I want to be great at handstands. I suck at handstands. things. So I'll be like, that is great, but I will have to refer you to someone who does
Who's
either
maybe
more
better at that,
gymnastics or
yeah.
does more calisthenics or stuff like that, because that's
Yeah.
not my best thing. But if you want to
No.
learn how to deadlift and squat, I'm your girl.
Yeah, yeah,
And also, it's good to ask what their philosophy with fitness is,
yeah.
because it needs to align with your own. For
Right.
example, if you're not the one to be motivated by a drill sergeant,
Yeah.
chances are you're going to hate meeting up to your session because someone's going to be yelling at you.
Yeah. So then what other kind of considerations do you think that there are in finding the right personal trainer for you?
It would be first their experience and their personality.
Yeah.
How long have they actually been working with real people, and that they have a personality that I click with because I'm going to be spending time with this person and
check.
confiding,
Yeah.
confiding in this person. So it's really important that I feel comfortable with that person.
Yes.
Then their credentials,
Yeah.
right? And I say it secondly because you can be theoretically really good, but if you're not used to working with people one-on-one, theory only gets you so far.
Yeah.
Right? And area of expertise, because if I want to learn how to do deadlifts, then maybe I won't be going to a running coach.
That makes
and vice
total
versa.
sense. Yeah.
Right? Price and location, like you talked about,
Yeah.
it had to be something that was practical for you in your vicinity.
Yeah.
Price range that you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
And then, of course, as we mentioned, availability and reliability. If you feel that you get a good vibe from this person.
You know, like we talk about quite a lot, this kind of check in with yourself and how are you feeling? And this is kind of on that line, right? How do you feel when you're talking to this person? Do you feel confident that they've got your back? For anybody listening, go back and listen to our episode where we talk a little bit more about, you know, your experience as a personal trainer.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you all for listening.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Have a wonderful day. And until next time, stay strong.
Stay chatty.
Bye.
Bye.